Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money channel. So not too much happening here in the crypto space. Mostly the market is, it's a bit of a mix right now. Bitcoin trading at 8,093, Ethereum 177, XRP 0.252, with an increase actually of 1.48% in the last 24 hours. But essentially, the market is not, it's still indecisive as far as I'm concerned. We got Bitcoin here on the daily, and it's, after this push up in late October, we just kind of saw it, slowly kind of creeping back down in XRP, even though we did see a bit of a gain. It's still trading under 25 cents right now, 0.248. Not huge gains, not huge losses, just kind of waiting. We're just here poised and waiting for something to happen. But in the grand scheme of things, we're still bullish, guys. We're still in this bull market when you look at it in the bigger picture. So Bitcoin on the weekly. Let's go weekly first. Right, you can see this in the chart, okay, back last winter, so winter 2018-19 till the summer of 2019, there was a huge push up, and this leg, like when you start zooming out and go on the shorter time frames, you can see that this leg stronger positively than this leg is negatively. So that's a good way to gauge where the market really is for the long term. You can see, right, even on the monthly, you can see that this is forming a bullish pennant. So for the long-term goal of Bitcoin, we are looking good, which means that the long-term prospects for the crypto market is also looking good. I saw this on AMB Crypto. RippleNet member NIUM or NIUM partners with Brazilian foreign exchange to facilitate remittances. Now, you guys know NIUM is formerly InstaRem, which I didn't actually know. RippleNet partner NIUM, formerly called InstaRem, has announced a partnership with Frente Corretora de Cambio, a leading foreign exchange broker in Brazil. Under this partnership, NIUM will be aiding the foreign exchange's cross-border payments. This could mean that Ripple's intention of opening a payment corridor in Brazil could soon be a reality. Project NANO CEO and co-founder of NIUM was pleased with the partnership and noted that Brazil is an important market for this company. He also informed the community of his plans to expand their presence in Latin America with the Frente partnership. So the CEO went on to say, with NIUM's fast, secure, and cost-efficient cross-border digital money transfer platform, customers of Frente will be able to realize quicker remittances while being more confident about delivery times and payout amounts. And this is what it's all about, right? Corridors will grow and expand just because partnerships are growing and expanding, right? The more Ripple partnerships there are, the more companies there are that Ripple is partnered with, and so those companies will, seek their own business relationships with countries around the world. So this is how we're slowly starting to see Ripple move into new markets. According to the announcement, NIUM will initially facilitate the money transfers to the US and later in countries like Japan, Australia, and Canada. So of course, we need to see a proof of concept first. Guys, I'll link this article in the description if you want to read it further. I saw this from Crypto Dash, that's at crypto_dash XRP on Twitter. This from a couple of days ago now. Powell meets Trump Mnuchin to discuss economy in a rare sit-down. So Trump says he's protested to Powell about U.S. interest rates. Donald Trump doesn't want the interest rates to go up. But right now we're in a precarious situation for the economy. President Donald Trump said he protested U.S. interest rates that he considered too high relative to other developed countries in a meeting on Monday with Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell. Powell met with Trump and Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin at the White House residence in the morning at the president's request to discuss the economy. It was the second face-to-face encounter this year between Trump and Powell amid the president's relentless criticism of the U.S. central bank. And then there's a tweet to that effect. Powell's comments were consistent with his remarks at his congressional hearing last week. The Fed said in a statement released after the meeting, pointing out that the gathering was at the president's invitation. Trump, who has made his economic record the centerpiece of his bid for re-election next year, has maintained a drumbeat attacks on the Fed for not easing monetary policy faster or deeper. There's a lot going on here in this article, guys. I don't want to get into China. I know I've talked about China in previous videos. Again, I'll link this Bloomberg article in the description. Crypto Dash makes a very good point here underneath his posting of this. I'm starting to suspect that the powers that are all hell-bent in trying to keep this disastrous economy on its broken, fragile legs, no matter the price, in order to prevent the digital crypto market from taking over. I kind of tend to agree. I think that, this is going to be a huge mess if these guys can't agree on what is going to happen with the US economy. And cryptocurrency doesn't care. I've heard this before in the past. Bitcoin doesn't care what the economy is looking like for it to do what it's going to do. There are always going to be detractors. There are always going to be proponents of Bitcoin. I say Bitcoin in this example because Bitcoin is the first. It's been around the longest. And so we've seen this throughout history, right? I'm really, really curious, though, to see how Bitcoin will react in another huge financial crisis, because as we know, Bitcoin was born out of the financial crisis. But this is bigger than Bitcoin, right? This is global liquidity. The world economies have never been so closely intertwined than they are today. So I'm curious to see how this all shakes out. This is another one from Crypto-XRP, a press release from yesterday, linking to this. So any New Yorkers in the audience, Financial Services Superintendent Linda A. LACEWELL announces grant of DFS Trust Charter to enable Fidelity to engage in New York's growing virtual currency marketplace. That's a big step for New York. So New York State, this is actually from their official website. They're able to operate as a limited liability trust as part of the state's rapidly growing virtual currency marketplace. As the financial capital of the world, New York must also continue to be the center of financial innovation. DFS will continue to provide regulatory oversight of new technologies to both foster innovation and protect consumer companies and markets. And so this decision, obviously, because it's again unstoppable. The virtual currency marketplace is growing, and the United States is slowly but surely making their way onto the stage, and that's okay. It needs to happen. Some people obviously think it probably needs to happen sooner rather than later, but it is happening. We are seeing it. We're reading articles every day about this. This from A&B Crypto, I saw Ripple's Xpring announces the Java implementation of the Interledger Hyperledger Quilt. So software architect for Ripple and Xpring, David Fueling, recently announced Hyperledger Quilt version 1.0, which is a Java implementation of the Interledger protocol for sending payments across different ledgers. According to the post in question, much like what the internet did for information, Interledger provides open protocols and standards for the interoperability of payments. And guys, interoperability is what's going to make this really appealing for everybody around the world, okay? Not everybody is going to get on the same page right at once, but if Ripple technology can be interoperable using XRP as that backbone currency, XRP will more likely be used in more places sooner because of these types of mechanisms, because of the interoperability. So let me just go down here. There are millions of Java developers around the world with billions of devices running Java software, largely led by Android deployments. With this in mind, Quilt is vital because it provides Java developers with easy-to-use libraries for sending and receiving interledger payments. So version 1.0 release of the Hyperledger Quilt now has support for nearly all interledger primitives, including streaming payments. Also included in the post was a tutorial on how to send an interledger payment using Quilt. Xpring has recently announced its investment in the Flare network, which integrates the Ethereum virtual machine for public and private networks to leverage smart contracts on the XRP ledger. So we're continuing to see this ecosystem grow, guys, and I know it's feeling like it's not growing fast enough. But this kind of stuff takes time, right? We need to understand that this needs to be rolled out correctly. The guys and gals over at Xpring are doing just that, realizing it's one step at a time, baby steps. Everybody's doing their part to add to the ecosystem, and I think that's what's most important. We can all do our part, right? Even in a small way. I know Mr. BXRP last week or the week before was, imploring people over Twitter to download the XRP tip bot and to send the link to 2 or 3 friends, right? And to, help the XRP tip bot grow exponentially, because we want to see that value system be utilized by more people sooner, right? He told 2 friends, then he told 2 friends, so on and so forth. You guys know the drill. This is the way we're going to get the ecosystem to grow well. It's a small way. It's what we can do as people in this world, something along those lines. It doesn't have to be that, although I do encourage you to tell people about the XRP tip bot. Tell people about any type of Ripple technology you can. I'm sure you guys already do, you know, especially if you're the types who are in it to win it, right? Who have already invested in XRP, interacting with the XRP community on Twitter. Maybe I should have a contest on the channel and have all my viewers write in or, you know, email or tweet to me or do something with their stories about how they're doing their part, and I'll just pick the best story and I'll give them a free ledger or something like that. I don't know, do you guys think that's a good idea? The problem is I gotta see proof though, that's the thing. I wanna know that you guys are doing your part. You can't just tell me a lie and expect me to throw you a free ledger. Anyway guys, wanted to finish up with this, the Daily Hodl. Oxford joins Ripple's UBRI as Kyoto University fires up an XRP validator. That's right, guys. Oxford University, an entrepreneurship center at the University of Oxford, says it's joining Ripple's University Blockchain Initiative, the UBRI. On its LinkedIn page, the Oxford Foundry announced its plans to join the initiative. And guys, Oxford University, they are the real McCoy. For those of you guys who do not know, it's one of the most prestigious universities in the world. The University of Oxford has an acceptance rate of only 17.5%, those tallies from 2015. That means that of the people who apply to Oxford, so in order to apply, you need to already be of a base level intelligence, 82.5% don't get in. Some notable alumni include Oscar Wilde, Stephen Hawking, J.R.R. Tolkien, Hugh Grant, and Tony Blair. So let's get back to this. In a quote, the Oxford Foundry has announced its plans to tackle the growing technology skills gap in the UK with a new partnership with leading blockchain technology provider Ripple and its University Blockchain Research Initiative. Through the Foundry's new tech series, up to 1,000 University of Oxford students from across all Oxford colleges and divisions will be given the opportunity to gain new skills in blockchain, AI, and machine learning across different industries. Students will also be given the opportunity to learn how to code in Python and build smart contracts. So this will give students the opportunity to learn ways on how to co-create, collaborate, and build solutions to global challenges, guys, through blockchain. We know that Kyoto University has joined the UBRI. It mentions that down here. I did a video on that a few months ago now. But guys, this is essentially Ripple's way of continuing to build the ecosystem, right? We've heard Brad Garlinghouse say in the past that Ripple, since they hold the most XRP, are the most invested in how well XRP does. So you can see, with all the money they have, they are using it for purposes like these. Funding programs at universities, and not just any university, guys, big prestigious universities, to get blockchain education moving, right? They're thinking generations ahead because they are realizing that the next generation of blockchain developers are in school right now, and this is an emerging technology. This is a talent. This is a skill that is going to continue to be needed for generations to come. And so that's just a tiny part of how Ripple's contributing. How are you guys contributing to the XRP ecosystem? I want to hear what you guys are doing. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.